Even as we talk about celebrating Chanukkah, what is it that we're really celebrating? Of course, there is the miracle of the small band of Jewish warriors that defeated a far greater Assyrian Greek army. There's also the well-known miracle of how they found a small bottle of oil that should have lasted for one day, but actually burned for so much longer. But perhaps greater than the miracle of a small group of men defeating a large army, and perhaps even more miraculous than finding a small bottle of oil with a seal that burned so much longer than it should have, is the simple fact that they had the faith and the conviction to go and search for such a bottle amidst the ruins in the first place. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not manna from heaven or splitting seas, but within ourselves, and more precisely within our convictions. There was a woman who spoke some years ago at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City for the Society for the Prevention of Blindness. And she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I went blind at a young age. I couldn't see. Nonetheless, I went on to achieve my doctorate in psychology and I launched a successful career. I went on to get married. I had 4 children. Then I heard of a doctor from Italy who had devised a surgical procedure to restore vision in certain cases and determined that I was a candidate. I sent in my file and he took up my case. I hesitated at first, but one close colleague said to me, if you were able to accomplish so much in your blindness, imagine how much more you can accomplish once your eyesight is restored. You'll become a powerhouse." And she said to her audience, as you all know, I had the surgery done and I can now see. What you may not know, however, is that within 4 years, I became depressed. I became estranged from my family. I lost my job. And she said, why? What happened? What changed? And then she explained very simply and yet powerfully, because when I was living in the darkness, I always was looking for the light. But I didn't know how to live in that light. That's been our biggest problem as a people and even as individuals. Adam and Eve were living in the light of paradise, but they soon get expelled because they didn't know how to live in the light. When the Jews were in the darkness of Egypt, they were crying out for redemption, looking for the light. As soon as they are freed, living in the light, they make a golden calf. They complain continuously. They didn't know how to live in the light. And in the Chanukkah story, we were in darkness looking for that bottle of oil. The menorah then burnt in the temple for some 235 or so years, but we didn't know how to live in the light. The temple was destroyed. The Jews were exiled, and we have been struggling to one extent or another ever since. There's a light that burns bright inside each and every single one of us. Inside this light are our greatest potentials. But how often do we go looking for this light? And even when sometimes we do tap into it, how long do we actually live in this light? Or to put the question another way, how much do we really believe in ourselves and in our God-given ability to achieve greatness? You have to believe in yourself. You need to be aware of your abilities in order to best nurture them and apply them to your life's plan and model. There were these 2 seeds that were lying side by side in the beautiful spring soil. The first seed said, I want to grow. I want to send my roots deep into the ground and beneath me and thrust my sprouts through the earth's crust above me. And so she grew. The second seed said, I'm afraid. If I send my roots into the ground below, I don't know what I'll encounter in the dark. If I push my way through the hard soil above me, I may damage my delicate sprouts. What if a snail tries to attack my buds? What if a small child is to pull me from the ground? No, I choose to wait till it is safe. And so she waited. A little chicken came wandering along in the garden looking for food and found the seed that chose to wait and immediately ate it. And the moral of the story is, if you refuse to risk in order to grow, you will get swallowed up by life. As you gaze at the beautiful Chanukkah flames flickering, ask yourself, which seed am I? The one stuck in the dark ground, not realizing my fullest potential? Or the one that has broken through and discovered the light? We all have greatness within us. We all contain something special. We need to sometimes stand back and look in order to capture a glimpse of a larger vision of ourselves. We must then look to discover who we really are, our uniqueness, and what it is we bring to the world. Understand that, like in the Chanukkah story, each of us is a miracle of light in our own right, and determine how to live in that light. 8 ties for 8 nights. If anybody out there in JLI world wants to tap into my toy collection, you're more than welcome. Happy Chanukkah.
Moment of Wisdom. Sub-brief and life-changing moments. Join us. Subscribe to Moment of Wisdom channels on YouTube, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.